My name is Beth Lacey and I am the maker of the 1610 embroidered jacket worn by Margaret Layton. I have admired the garments produced as part of the Patterns of Fashion Award since the beginning of my university studies, and when I was presented with the exciting opportunity to take part, I knew that it would be a great chance to challenge and develop my skills in both historical garment recreation and research. When choosing this garment, I knew I wanted embroidery to be an important step within the construction. The Tudor and Stuart eras both contained highly decorated items of clothing, and some of my favourite garments are the early 17th century embroidered jackets. When I came across this pattern in Janet Arnold's book, I knew that it'd be an exciting, ambitious and rewarding project. The Margaret Layton jacket resembles a handful of other similar archived garments, and this proved to really help me with my studies. I went to the Bath Fashion Museum where I was able to view a 1610s embroidered jacket in their exhibition. Much like the original in the V&A, I was unable to get a closer look. I did still visit the V&A to view the original portrait. Even though this didn't provide me with much understanding of the jacket itself, it did allow me to deepen my understanding of the jacket's historical importance. I then reached a point in my research where I felt that viewing these garments at a distance or online didn't provide me with enough confidence in the samples I was producing. I contacted Worthing's Museum, who were able to show me a 1615 blackwork jacket of almost identical construction from their archive, and also a remnant of an embroidered jacket similar to Margaret Layton's. Viewing the stitches and embroidery materials so closely allowed me to finalise any changes I needed to do to my own work. It was really important to me that the jacket I produced was as historically accurate as possible. I started by using a prick and pounce method to transfer my embroidery design onto the linen, which I then watercoloured in place. I then used polychrome silk threads for the flowers, birds and insects, all of which are worked in a detached buttonhole stitch. This is the stitch that I found the most challenging to achieve, and it took quite a few practices before I felt confident enough to start on the final piece. The stems and seam lines are worked in a plaited braid stitch using gold metal passing thread. Once each panel was complete, I hand sewed the jacket together using both silk thread to match the coral pink silk taffeta lining and 2-ply linen thread to match the top fabric. I was unable to find any alternatives for the handmade bobbin lace seen on the centre front, hem, cuff and collar. My coursemate was kind enough to show me her lace making method and offered to make a few samples which could be applied to the cuff and wing. The bobbin lace also features 5 teardrop metal spangles on each point, which I was unable to source. To ensure that the lace made was true to the original, I used a metal punch replicating the spangle size from the book, which created identical metal spangles. Finally, I found that both the linen and silk materials frayed very quickly, the linen especially whilst I was embroidering. I decided to draw the pattern piece onto a square of linen, turn twice under the edges and tack them down in place to protect the raw edge. As for the silk, I only cut the pattern pieces as and when I needed them to avoid too much damage. I feel so privileged to have been given the opportunity to study such an important garment in such great detail, and I am extremely proud of the work I have produced. I'm also so grateful to have been chosen as a 2023 Patterns of Fashion finalist.